Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to round 2 of the British Drift Championship here at Teesside Autodrome. I'm Ian Waddington, and as always, I'm joined by Eddie Power. Eddie?
Yes, thank you, Ian. Back at the home of British drifting for round 2, as you mentioned, of the British Drift Championship, right where it all began here in Teesside Autodrome, and we are ready for some really hot action this weekend. We're just about to take a walk through the pits, and we're going to start taking a look at some of the cars and drivers that are on the grid today. And the first one that comes to my attention here is the new livery on this incredible E92 of Matt Stevenson. Talk me through this car. You probably know it a little bit better than I do, but Matt, new sponsors on the board for this weekend.
Yeah, Matt picking up a brand new sponsor for this weekend, DKM coming on board and helping him out. LS powered E92 BMW. If you are a regular live stream viewer, you will notice that Matt Stevenson is the king of initiations, likes to send it in nice and hard. And you know what? Good to see him picking up that sponsor. Absolutely killer wrap on that car. So looking forward to seeing him later on in practice, Eddie.
And of course, the rest of Team Slide Motorsport getting ready, getting those cars. Jason Clark, and you can see Adam Simmons already gone out on track for some practice this morning. We move it on to the Northern Irish contingent, who are having quite a successful weekend here already. Damien Wilkinson getting second position on the podium. Came over here to try and earn his Pro-Am licence for the Irish Drift Championship. Now finds himself in the mix for pro competition today here at round 2. Dwayne McKeever, a man unbeaten in Ireland and England. Will anybody on the pro grid be able to stop him this weekend, Ian? I don't know what your guys got, but...
Hey, listen, I don't know if he can be stopped. You know, the Irish yesterday, it was a full Irish podium. Absolutely dominated. So I'm not sure, you know, Dwayne McKeever looks on form. We can see in the background there, Matt Denham having issues with his car already. Matt Carter using the borrowed Jap Speed Lexus IS200. We can hear in the background Jason Clark, Team Slide Motorsport, just making his way out on track. And you know what, more issues, Eddie, as we walk through the paddock, you know, just goes to show you the level of competition. These guys pushing really, really hard. Mike Wharton breaking another prop shaft on that car. So if you follow Mike Wharton on social media, you will know that earlier on this week, Mike Wharton snapped a prop shaft in his car, and we can see they've actually got it out of the car. We can take a quick look. He snapped a prop shaft. It came through the transition tunnel. Very, very lucky to not get hurt. But look at that. Just goes to show you the level of grip and power that these guys are running in pro competition. He's completely snapped off that output shaft and spun the end of it. I mean, phenomenal. So, not deterred though, Eddie. He's jumped in Paul Beach's SR22 S14, and he's going to head out for some practice. So, looking good this afternoon.
Yeah, getting some all-important track time, and as you say, jumping into a borrowed car, not going to be an easy job for Walton, but who knows if he can make it work. As we see Armas Vasquelis coming in from some practice runs, and that guy has wowed us here in BDC, and especially on this track. He pulled out some big wins last year, but a driver who will be hoping to not suffer any mechanical difficulties this weekend. Always, he's no mechanical sympathy, very heavy on the car, and he'll be hoping for a good run of fortune here this weekend. So we can just take a look over to our left, where we see the Driftworks teams getting their cars ready for the weekend. Do you think someone in Team Driftworks could top the podium this weekend? Is there, if someone's going to beat Dwayne McKeever, which one of these English drivers do you think is going to be?
You know what, somebody asked me the question last night when we was out, and they said, like, look, the Irish are just unstoppable at the moment. Lee Scott completely dominated Pro-Am grid. Dwayne McKeever completely unbeaten so far in 2018. Do you think anyone could take him? And the only person, well, there's two people really in my mind that can take him down. They're very, very strong drivers and that dominated this circuit, and that's Martin Richards. And you know what, I don't know, Oliver Evans for me, because these guys are just such strong drivers, not scared to put it on the door. And I think they're probably the only two people on the grid this weekend that are going to go all out and try and take down the Irish.
I have to agree with you. Oliver Evans maybe not getting the right start to the championship, or the start that he was hoping for, but I watched some of his practice here yesterday, and he looks very fast on this circuit. Ian Biz Phillips there just cooling himself down. You can see getting ready. Lee Barker on the grid, and what about this car? Martin Wonnacott, such an impressive car, so huge, and just has such a presence on the track. You can see the MX-5 of Christian Christensen, get a little wave, one of the nicest guys in the grid, and again looking for a change of fortune after not the start to the season that he was hoping for. Team Jap Speed are in the building with Paul Smokey Smith. Again, another driver just looking to change his fortunes here at round 2. But you can just see here, getting ready to go to the line is Oliver Evans. And I'm expecting big things from him here this weekend, Ian.
Yeah, Oliver Evans yesterday, one of the first guys to go out in practice and absolutely stuck it door on door with Martin Richards. Those guys then swapped around and Martin Richards absolutely glued it to the door. Looked phenomenal all day in practice yesterday. So hence why my money's on those two guys. Looking really strong. Adam Simmons having engine troubles earlier in the week. Looks like he's got that car to hold together now. Hopefully he can make his way into top 24. But you know what, Eddie, anything can happen. We see our 32nd place qualifier yesterday, Damien Wilkinson, get on the second step of the podium. So you know what, unpredictability as we head into our pro competition today.
Yeah, unpredictability, but what's worth mentioning there as well is that we have 4 drivers coming through from the semi-pro competition. They've driven the track in the wet, they've driven it in the dry. Lee Scott, we are hearing, is going to compete in the pro competition today, which is massive. How will he fare? Could he take down Dwayne McKeever? Very, very interesting at the prospects of seeing those two go up against each other. If we can just pan the camera around, you can see what these guys are facing. Oliver Evans going in the chase position in one of his practice runs, and look at this, door to door, all the way around the bank, and the crowd here is already building. It is going to be a phenomenal event. We are praying that the rain stays away. Dampened the spirits a little bit yesterday, but look, the track is dry this morning. The guys are out, they are ready, and you know what, so am I.
Yeah, exactly, Eddie. So there's only one way to find out who is going to make that top 24 and who is going to take the top step on our pro final today. Is that's it to get into qualifying. So from me and Eddie, we're going to head back up to the tower. The power struggle is real right now. Me and Eddie will catch you at qualifying back in the tower. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 2 of the British Drift Championship 2018, live from Teesside Autodrome. This is our pro competition day. Eddie, we just took a little quick walk through the paddock there, had a look at these guys on the grid. Competition heating up, looking strong today. Yeah, look, these guys, taking it very seriously this morning. We saw a lot of door-on-door action in practice. We also saw a lot of guys going off at that first corner as well. So, guys, all the drivers pushing really, really hard. Hearing that, if you were watching there just a moment ago, we said that Lee Scott competed today. Fake news, unfortunately, not competing and just keeping his sights set on the Irish and British Pro-Am Championship. But we have a stacked grid today. I spoke with Dwayne McKeever earlier on. He chose to just take a couple of practice laps and then just sit out the rest of practice. So a little bit of mind games there. He feels very comfortable on this circuit. And of course, the first time we were going to ever see him compete here this weekend. It is hotting up. BDC Round 2. We are almost ready to go, Ian. Yeah, I mean, like you say, a very, very confident-looking Dwayne McKeever and a very, very good, confident-looking the rest of the grid. Everyone's feeling good. So only one way to get going, and that is to go to our judges. Our judges today will be Kieran Hines, our head judge, followed up by Dave Egan, and taking the hot seat this weekend, Ben Manuel. So we're going to head to our judges to see what they're looking for as we go into qualifying.
Thanks, guys. How you doing? Good?
Yeah, we're good.
Hyped?
Yeah. You?
Really
Yeah,
hyped.
I am. Yeah, very excited. Yeah.
You guys hyped here in Teesside? Yeah, I'm not hyped yet. We're going to get there. Okay, so we're going to talk about what's going to score that perfect 100 in qualifying. Of course, if you're no stranger to the British Drift, track has been used probably 14 times in 10 years, so it's very familiar to both everybody watching, you guys at home, and also to the judges. However, we've made some slight changes this weekend to make things a little easier for ourselves to judge and also to make them a little bit more technical for the drivers. The track itself, conditions are varying, a little bit warmer, and then we're seeing some sprinkles of rain, so it's going to be a little bit slippier for some runs than others. So here's how it's going to work. They're going to come through a chicane on the start line. It's quite a tight chicane. We're expecting all lead drivers in qualifying to do that. Then it's full throttle down to clipping zone 1. Now, essentially, that's what we're looking for, full throttle. Everybody, the first time they actually decelerate or come off the throttle must be on their initiation, which is marked by 3 cones on the edge of the track. You'll see they have a 3, 2, and a 1 formation. The earlier the initiation, the higher they're going to score. You can basically initiate whichever way you want. You can clutch kick, you can weight transfer, and of course you can handbrake entry. You can use the full width of the track if you want to in qualifying. That will change for twin battles later on. And essentially we're looking for a fluid transition fast and not decelerating a whole lot, which means it takes them through clip 1 at quite some speed. Now, on the exit of clip 1, there's a large rut that's been dug out from a lot of the cars dropping wheels there. So essentially we were saying to the drivers we want to keep them just in the middle of that clipping zone is absolutely fine for top score. Then for clipping zone 1, they'll start to head up the bank here, the infamous bank in Teesside. Now what you'll also see on the track is 3 white lines painted. We're expecting the front wheels of the cars to be above those lines. On the lines is probably perfect line. Above it is not perfect, but it's okay. We just don't want to see the cars dropping below those. Then it's taking them on the wide line out to clipping zone 2. Now, while the track here looks like a perfect semicircle, it is far from. It's actually not a perfect circle. So they actually come away from clip 2, and then you'll see another 3 white lines painted on the track. Again, front wheels to run alongside those white lines, even crossing over them a slight bit, which brings them on the perfect arc down towards clipping zone 3 and the only deceleration zone on the track. Here we'll see the drivers scrub speed from the bank on the handbrake or with angle, which is going to score higher, or with just using the front brakes. And then they're going to basically have a line. Now, the line that's painted on the outside of the track is the exterior of the track. So essentially, that's the end of the track where we'll score if they go over it. We don't want them, though, however, on the rear wheels on that white line. We probably want them about 3 meters from that for the perfect line. That'll take them beautifully into clip 4, where they'll be on angle, and then starting to shoot towards the slower part of the circuit, which is those inner hairpins. Hannah said we don't want to see guys on huge angle as they leave clip 4 because it makes it very difficult to twin bat later on. So a fluid line from 4 and then early transition to 5 using the angle into 5, staying for the first third of the corner to the edge of the track, then moving away from it to use that perfect arc to clip 6. And very important also as they full throttle across clip 6 towards the finish line that they are on our side, which is the judging side of the track, or in the middle of the track, that they're not on the far side of the track or very, very close to the inner corner, inner apex of the corner. That's what's going to score the perfect 100 here today, guys. We've seen a lot of the pros practice this morning looking very strong. So we're expecting a very competitive qualifying session, meaning that we will be, at times, quite harsh on our judging to separate that grid.
So there you go, Eddie. You know, very, very strict qualifying, and we see it yesterday, only an 87.7 taking the top score. We're going to go to a virtual track layout now. So for you guys in attendance, take a look at the big screen. For you guys at home, you can watch this now. This is what the judges set out for our drivers to drive. This is the perfect 100-point qualifying run. So we're going to head to our virtual layout.
Yeah, and as you can see, a big early entry is what's going to really be rewarded by these drivers. Nice and wide out on the bank, and then just coming off that line as they bring it down to clip 3 and 4 here. Again, a wide angle and a nice, tight, snappy transition. And it was this final section of the track where a lot of guys were losing points in qualifying yesterday by not staying wide through the final section and over the line, coming quite shallow and over all the way to the left side of the track as they cross the finish line. But there you go, that's the virtual run of the track, and that is what these drivers are trying to replicate. 2 non-consecutive qualifying runs. Each driver will be scored out of 100 by our 3 judges, and the average score being their score. The highest score then will count for their qualifying score, and we will bring them down from roughly 50 drivers down to 32 or 24.
So we're going to go to our criteria. Our qualification criteria is as each driver will compete 2 non-consecutive scored runs. The highest score after both runs will count as a driver's final score. Each run is scored out of a maximum of 100 by our 3 judges. The average score from all 3 judges will count as a driver's run score. Drivers will be deducted points for momentary loss of drift, understeer, incorrect line, dropping 1 to 3 wheels off the designated circuit, significant contact. Drivers will be rewarded for extreme entry, increased speed, fluidity, snappy transitions, correct judging line, precision, proximity to the outer clipping zones. Drivers will be scored a 0 for complete loss of drift, spinning out, dropping 4 wheels, extreme understeer, driving a section of the course. So there we go, Eddie. Looks like we are almost ready to go for qualifying, but you know what, I had a little bit of I had dinner last night with my mate. My new mate. I've made a new friend at BDC.
Yeah?
Yeah, Nathan Black.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Listen, give him a chance. We had pizza last night, a few beers. We watched Formula D. We explained to him about how good James Dean is, and yeah, do you know what? We bonded, and I feel we've got a really good vibe going now. So we're going to go quickly have a chat with Nathan if Nathan's around.
Thanks, guys. Yes, we are live here for day 2 of round 2 of the BDC, live here in Teesside, and things are certainly look like they're going to take a heated turn here today. Is Dwayne McKeever going to be able to take the top spot? Is Matt Carter going to be able to take the top spot? We got drivers swapping cars. We got drivers taking bits from other cars to put on other cars, from other cars to place on other cars. It's all getting crazy. The answers remain. Is this going to be the most electrifying day in BD Sport history? Is this going to be the day when we see a brand new champion or a reigning champion carry on his storm here in the drifting scene? And is Eddie still going to have a face like a slapped child that didn't get what he wanted for Christmas 10 years ago? These are all the questions we're going to have answered here today, live at the BDC. Back to you, Ian, and back to you, Pint Size. Thank you.
See, he's a likeable guy. He's learning drifting. He's eager. He's enthusiastic. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, lucky I have a sense of humour. That's all I'm going to say.
So, Eddie, with that done and dusted, it looks like we are ready to kick off qualifying here at round 2 of the British Drift Championship. You guys at Teesside ready for some qualification? Come on, we're going to need it. We're going to need it better than that.
We're going to need better than that because you guys are banked all the way around the circuit. We need a big cheer before we send any cars out on track. Are you guys ready for round 2 of the British Drift Championship in Teesside? It's a little bit
more
better.
like it. We're getting warmed up, Eddie. So we are ready to go for our first driver of the day, and that will be Ian Rutherford. Ian Rutherford, our Pro-Am driver yesterday, narrowly missing out on the podium, finished off in 4th place with a tough battle against Ryan Caldwell. And this guy, so much seat time over the weekend, Eddie. Went into practice this morning, had a big grin on his face. So Ian Rutherford, the first guy off the line, V8 supercharged Nissan 200SX S13. What has Ian Rutherford got?
Yeah, bonus time here for Ian Rutherford, but looking to make a name for himself in the pro class. Can he take down some names? Well, he's going to have to start by qualifying. And look at this nice high line through the bank from Ian Rutherford as he just feathers the throttle. You can see the track a little bit damp out there at the moment, a light spill of rain just in the break between practice and qualifying. But Ian Rutherford collecting those clipping zones, hand out the window, patting the car on the roof as he crossed the line. Teesside, make some noise for your Pro-Am driver, Ian Rutherford, kicking off qualifying here at round 2 of the British Drift Championship.
Yeah, very, very good run there for Ian Rutherford. A very nice technical line. You could tell he's got a lot of seat time. Qualified 5th yesterday in Pro-Am, so a guy not unfamiliar with the correct driving line. So what are the judges going to score him as we wait to see that score up here on the board? And a 62.7 for Ian Rutherford, so a 62.7.
Yeah, nice first run from Ian. That'll take away some of the nerves as we move it on to our 3rd place finisher yesterday, Ryan Caldwell. And you know what, Ryan Caldwell, very unfortunate not to take it into the final. Came up against Lee Scott. What can he do here?
Yeah, this guy looking very aggressive in practice. And look at this, Eddie, big flick initiation for the 16-year-old student Ryan Caldwell as he fires that Quinn's M Sport S15 in. Very high line as he exits the bank. Nice and deep into that outer zone 4.
Yeah, Caldwell, a real line driver. Very good at just getting that line dialed in and staying on it. Very consistent and putting a big run in here nice and early. The judges will be liking that one, no doubt. Ryan Caldwell getting off to a good start here in pro qualifying.
So as we wait for the score to drop in there for Ryan Caldwell, remember only 24 of our 50 drivers can make it through to competition this afternoon. The top 16 of those, naturally, Eddie will lead. So there we go, 75.3 for Ryan Caldwell. A very, very good score for his first qualifying run. A very confident young guy. So
the top 8 drivers, of course, move directly into the top 16, and then the remaining 16 drivers from 9 to 24 have to battle it out for a position in that top 16. So we move it on to a man who is on a high after yesterday's performance. Damien Wilkinson was ready to go to the pub after qualifying yesterday, just scraped in the top 32. Where did he finish? 2nd on the podium. What a day for the young man representing Quinn M Sport, the mechanic at Quinn M Sport, taking it nice and high onto that bank and looking like a brand new driver and a new man behind the wheel of this 180SX.
Yeah, he's having a perfect weekend. Sorry, Eddie. And absolutely, you know what, him and this car have absolutely got this line dialed. And look at this from Damien Wilkinson, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause as he crosses the line.
I always
say
it's amazing what a podium can do for a driver's confidence, you know, and he is absolutely singing at the moment. So is that car, and he looks ready to take on the pros today. Where's he going to score? As we wait the judges just to finish deliberating, they're putting into their
Wow, look at that,
this.
Eddie.
First position so far, a 78.3, and a statement made.
Yeah, a statement
from Damien
indeed.
Wilkinson.
So we move it along to the first of our pro drivers, and first up on the line, ready to go, is Mark Gemmell. Mark Gemmell, the 32-year-old owner of MG Autotech from Glasgow, driving that Nissan 350Z, powered by a BMW N54, 650 horsepower under the bonnet.
Huge weight transfer entry, but not getting too deep into that first outer zone.
No, manages to feather it though, Eddie. Gets the car washed up nice on the bank, gets into clipping point 2 in the end, and a good line through clipping point 3.
Yeah, this starting to turn into a nice run from Mark Gemmell, but just thought that first section maybe will be what costs him in terms of the score from the judges, but finishing it out nicely as he puts foot to floor and nails the throttle as he crosses the line, Ian.
Yeah, absolutely nailed the rest of that circuit. Just, you know, for me, it did exactly what a lot of our Pro-Am drivers were doing yesterday in qualifying, coming off a clipping point 6 and then diving across the track. So finished the runoff on the opposite side of the circuit, not what Dave Egan and the judges wanted to see. So going to be marked down heavily on points there, Eddie, but we wait for the score to drop in for Mark Gemmell. As Mark Gemmell scores a 58.7, there for Mark Gemmell, so work to be done, sitting in fourth place currently. We move it along to the man who put an MX-5 around a turbo V8, that is Christian Christensen.
Yes, a very under horsepower car, just a mere 1,000 brake horsepower LS2 turbo underneath the bonnet of this car. Christian Christensen, so good they named him twice. Here we go.
Yeah, all the way from Falstad in Denmark. This guy having issues at Rockingham round 1, saying that the slower circuit wasn't doing his high horsepower car any good. He said that he was feeling this circuit though at Teesside, liking the nice fast banked corner, but problems from Christian Christensen.
Yeah,
a
very early initiation. You can see him getting that car sideways, just at the 3-cone mark of the 3-2-1, and then maybe not carrying enough speed to keep himself pinned up high on that bank. And a 0 from Christian on his first run means he's going to have it all to do in the second half of qualifying. Of course, we go in reverse order, reverse championship order, and then these guys will come back out 2 non-consecutive runs, the higher of their 2 runs counting towards their qualifying position. And obviously only 24 spots available in the main event later on this afternoon. We move it on. Nathan Shivers on the line.
Yeah, Nathan Shivers having a bit of contact with the tyre wall at clipping point 4 earlier in the day. You can see damage to the back of that LS2 supercharged Nissan 200X, 660 horsepower. The owner of GDA Sports Cars in Tunbridge Wells in Kent.
Yeah, quite a shallow line here from Nathan Shivers, not hooking it up correctly. Ooh, narrowly avoids a spin as he just drops the wheel. You can see how it changed the momentum of the car and his position on track, and Nathan Shivers battling this morning and just not getting a nice run out there on his first qualifying attempt.
No, not at all. Yeah, not really feeling it there for Nathan Shivers. Maybe that accident just, throwing his balance a little bit there. And fun fact, Eddie, Nathan Shivers drove this event 10 years ago. So this guy has been coming to Teesside for 10 years now. So
of course, we are celebrating 10 years of competitive drifting in the United Kingdom here this weekend at BDC Round 2.
Yep, and a 50.3 there for Nathan Shivers puts him in 5th position so far, but definitely they're going to need to improve on that to secure a spot in top 24. We move it along to Lee Barker, a nightclub bouncer and hydraulic engineer from Slough, driving that Midnight Motorsport R34 4-door. Now yesterday, this guy threw his car in on the door of Dwayne McKeever and pushed Dwayne McKeever all the way around the bank. So big things expected for Barker right now as he fires that car in. Nice initiation. Doesn't get high on the bank though, and he completely misses clipping point 2.
No, but a very capable 550 brake horsepower engine underneath the bonnet of this R34 Skyline. And Lee Barker finishing the run in style here now. If he can just keep this going, the judges will be looking at that. Maybe not the start to the run that he wanted, but obviously a full track here and lots of points to be gathered along the way, and Lee Barker getting it across the line safely for his first run. He's representing Walton Motorsport, Absolute Customs, Garage D, CV Automotives, Violent D, Infamous Creations, Strong Flex UK and Westlake Tyres.
So the score just dropping in now for Lee Barker. As you can see, no breeze here today, smoke hanging in the air. And a 58.7 there for Lee Barker, drops him in 4th position for the moment. We move it along. Dean Barber, Team Red Mist, the mechanic from Milton Keynes.
Yeah, Dean Barber putting in some strong runs here this morning in practice. He's addicted to drifting. SR20 underneath the bonnet. Rare enough that you see that in pro these days. 488 horsepower, but certainly plenty to get him around this circuit as he takes the midline into that entry. Nice. Filling up that first clipping zone. And taking it high onto the bank is Dean Barber.
Yeah, very big clutch kick there as he starts to exit the bank. Nice line through clipping point 3. Dean Barber looking like he's got this absolutely nailed.
Yeah, this hooking up really nicely for Dean as he throws big angle, and just as we say it.
You know what, Eddie, that was going to be a very, very good score. It's very technically correct from Dean Barber. Such a shame this guy just not having the season that he wanted. That obviously will be an incomplete run and a spin. It means a 0, Eddie, but we will make it confirmed by our judges. And yeah, a 0 there for Dean Barber. So we move it along to another driver, Eddie, that's been here 10 years strong in the game, Julie Robinson.
Yeah, the delivery driver from New Milton in Hampshire, looking to deliver a good score here on her first run.
Wow. Yeah, Julie Robinson piloting the same car that she's been driving for 10 years, Eddie. She makes her way down for her first run. Julie Robinson, one of the nicest people you'll meet in the grid.
Yeah, Julie, 13 years of drifting experience. Started drifting back in 2005. This is a 2.5 litre, 320 brake horsepower. Pretty much a standard engine underneath the bonnet of this Skyline, and Julie hooking up nicely, but just shutting it down, Ian.
Oh, yeah, looks like misshift issues potentially there, Eddie, as she went for 4th gear instead of 2nd. Such a shame. Like I say, Julie Robinson, one of the originators here at Teesside. So we will get a score from Julie, potentially a 0. I'm not sure, it could be very, very low. If not a 0, yeah, and a 26.7 for Julie there. So all to play for in a second run. We move it along to our next driver, Adam Simmons. Now, this guy, you talk about stress. Adam Simmons rebuilt this engine possibly 3 times, Eddie, this week. At least three times this week. Yeah, I mean, unbelievable from Adam Simmons. The team at Slide Motorsport got the car held together. The 32-year-old car.
Yeah, but Ian, look at this. What about that entry from Adam Simmons, throwing it left and then throwing it right and firing through the first corner, and you can just see the wheel speed that he's carrying and taking it nice and wide out on that line, representing Competition Clutch, Yellow Speed Racing, Tri-Ace and Imperial Performance. And the Team Slide Motorsport driver taking it across the line for his first run, and a big one there from Adam Simmons.
Yeah, you know what? It looks like for me, Adam Simmons just came with a bit of an answer for everyone. Like, look, might have had car troubles, but this is how I'll throw it down. And very, very good there from Adam Simmons.
But you know what? This car is one of the oldest cars in BDC. It's 10th year competing. So, you know what? It's bound to be a little bit tired at this point.
Just like yourself, Eddie. You're 10 years strong in the game. You're tired now.
I'm not sure if it's quite 10 just yet, but we're getting there.
But look
so
at that.
The score comes in for Adam Simmons, first spot with an 81.7. 81.7 for Adam Simmons. And you know what? Sometimes when you have these struggles during the week, it all works out when you get on track. And Adam Simmons looking strong so far this morning. We move it on. Ollie Elmore.
No, look at this. Ollie Elmore
stays
back off the line, Eddie. So potential problems there for Ollie Elmore. Going to wait and find out what is going on if Ollie Elmore is going to be able to put down a qualifying run. He is in line there, so not like he missed it and was stuck in the pits. So as you can see, it looks like we've pulled up Simon Perry to the line now. Simon Perry, another guy having car issues, blew his engine up at round 1, completely rebuilt it, brand new engine, goes out earlier in practice, loses a throttle body. It does look like
Ollie Elmore's managed to get sorted.
Yep, no, Ollie Elmore is ready to go.
Just about enough time for him to get back to the start line to complete his first run.
Very close there, nearly lost his run there.
He's representing Hell Performance, GK Tech, ETS Racing Fields. This is a 2JZ 700 brake horsepower monstrum car. Race fuel powered, Samsonic gearbox, GK Tech suspension components, full Hell Performance brake line system, and look at the size of the wing.
Yeah, big wing.
This thing is just ready to take off.
And doing a good job so far in qualifying, Eddie. Nice initiation, throws it high on the bank, gets a good line through clipping point 2 and stays in it.
Yeah, Elmore hooking it up nicely here.
Almost comes to a stop there, has to big clutch kick for Elmore as he transitions into clipping point 5.
But you know what? Keeps it going and gets a score on the board, puts it across the line. But again, another driver you can just see quite shallow as they, taking the left side of the track as opposed to the line on the right as they cross the finish line. Judges saying yesterday that they would be penalising drivers for that. That's an incorrect line as they cross the line.
So we wait for Ollie Elmore's score to drop in. Judges deliberating that one, Eddie. A few errors, straight in the middle, maybe a gear shift issue, but...
And of course the judges have the criteria that they've set down, but then they'll see different things throughout the day that they'll just discuss, different drivers doing different things, taking different approaches. The score comes in for Ollie Elmore. He jumps into 4th position with a 64. So 64 for Ollie Elmore, and he'll be happy with that. I'm sure they'll have a check over of that car as they go back to the pits, because obviously it's something that he wasn't happy with just before he came to the line. Now we move it on to Simon Perry. As you mentioned, Simon Perry having to take parts of the road spec GTR that they had in the pits this morning to get his car back out on track.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, Eddie, but I'll let you drop Simon Perry in the dirty puddle there for that one. But look at this, Simon Perry. Is he having more issues or is he ready to go? A very slow pull up to the line there for Simon Perry. No, it does. Oh, Simon Perry. It looks, Eddie, like he's got more issues with that RJB Civil Engineering Nissan Skyline i35.
Just wondering, could this be clutch or gearbox issues? Maybe struggling to get the car into gear to move off. But
right, so the ECU keeps going into limp mode and doesn't look like he's going to be able to make a competitive run, Eddie. Unfortunately, Simon Perry's round 1 gremlins coming back to haunt him again.
Yeah, of course, this car suffering terminal engine damage at round 1, blowing the engine and managing to get the car back together for round 2, but it just looks.
Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes past. Simon Perry, one of the originators of UK drifting, the guy been in the game a very, very long time, and unfortunately, problems with that R35 Nissan Skyline, just, not playing ball. Yeah, and unfortunately, that will be a 0 for Simon Perry. So all to do in his second run if he can get it fixed. So we move it along to our next driver on the line, Peter Hayden. Peter Hayden pulls up to the line in his old car, Eddie. Problems with his new build?
Yeah, nice to have a spare car though that you can just jump into. He's representing M&W Autos, Maxstream and Pab Mortgages. He started drifting when he was 15, now 21 years of age. His goal was to get into the pro in BDC, and look at this, dreams do come true.
Yeah, dreams do come true as Peter Hayden fires it in, gets nice and high on the bank. A little wobble there as he comes through clipping point 2, but keeps in it. This little BMW running a 3.2 M3 engine under the bonnet. And Peter Hayden pedaling it very, very well. This car got Peter Hayden all the way through Drift Cup, into BDC Pro-Am, through BDC Pro-Am and into BDC Pro. And look at that as he takes it across the line. And if you're wondering how to get into UK drifting, Eddie, of course, Drift Cup, the natural feeder series into BDC. 2 weeks' time, Rockingham Motor Speedway, Father's Day. Get yourself down there.
Are you telling me to get down there?
We go down there together, we'll have a go, yeah?
Absolutely.
We'll borrow a car.
I'm not sure.
Dave Egan's got a lovely Mustang we can take. We'll take Dave Egan's Mustang, go do Drift Cup.
Dave Egan has a garage full of cool machines, that we could take out to
and
Drift
a
Cup.
73 there for Peter Hayden, 73 for Peter Hayden, puts him in 4th position. So yeah, next weekend, Father's Day, take your dad out, take him drifting, Rockingham Motor Speedway.
Is it Father's Day in Ireland as well?
I don't know, Eddie.
I better check that out. Anyway, we got to move it on. Scott Cartledge sits on the line. Back to the drifting, Ian.
Yeah, back to the drifting.
The fathers can wait till next weekend.
Yeah, Scott Cartledge sits on the line in that V8 Turbo R33 Nissan Skyline. This car won him the Pro-Am Championship last year, Eddie, and doing a very good job so far in pro competition.
Scott Cartledge has a new build on the way, just not ready in time.
Well, I do believe he was out in it yesterday practicing. So potential problems with that new build already.
Well,
the clutch. So yeah, the clutch. Yeah, clutch problem. Wow, round 2 being very, very hard for these guys already. So clutch issues for Scott Cartledge. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get that car off the start line. So the rule is, Eddie, if the car can't move under its own power off of the start line, it is, an unscorable run. These cars have to make their way off the start line themselves. No bump starts or anything like that. So.
Yeah, and of course they cannot go back to the pits fix the car and come back out and complete that first run just in a different order. They have to be ready to go.
Yeah, they
for
sacrifice that first
at
run.
their time. So he will, if he can't get off the line, he'll only have the second
Oh,
one.
wow.
Oh, it looks like he manages to get that car into gear.
So Scott Cartledge gets that car going, and angry as he fires that car left to right, fires it in through clipping point 1. Can he get nice and high on the bank? Front wheels over that line, just shy of clipping point 2, but gets the wheels inside those 3 dotted lines as he starts to exit the first hairpin now. Nice transition back, big angle from Cartledge. As he fires it to clipping point 6, you can hear that car absolutely screaming with no clutch whatsoever. So he started the car in gear, Eddie, and drove it in 1 gear.
Yeah, and it just goes to show how these drivers are so capable of driving around problems, and very impressive run there from Scott Cartledge. He will get a score on the board, be able to go back into the pits and try and work on those clutch issues. He represented Birchwood Motor Co., Rhoda Westlake, CG Motorsport here this weekend. And a score of 78, enough for 3rd position. Wow, what about that? Teesside, give him a round of applause. With no clutch, Scott Cartledge putting in a huge run there.
So we move it along back to the start line. Anthony Mortley, the body shop owner from Newquay, representing HKS Washloo Insomnia Energy Drinks. He's been drifting for 7 years, and he's got 700 horsepower, 2 JZ under the bonnet, and it's S15.
Yeah, 100 horsepower for every year of competitive drifting, and look at
Whoa.
this entry.
Wow, too early though. Too early on the accelerator already. Pushed himself down the bank, gets nice and high now, takes off the back bumper. Oh, and it starts to fall apart for Mortley.
Yeah, starts to get the feet muddy, kicking up some dirt as he drops a couple of wheels. But you know what? He's getting back in it, puts it nice and wide, and just comes off that final clipping zone a little bit too early and very shallow as he crosses the finish line. But Anthony Mortley showing that he is certainly coming here to put down some aggressive runs and put on a show for the fans here this weekend at BDC Round 2.
So we wait for Anthony Mortley's score to drop in, and a 46.3. So that drops him into 11th position so far. As we go
Next driver off the line is a man who has been here since day one, Ian Biz Phillips, mechanical engineer from Richmond in North Yorkshire. It's a brand new build for 2018, 6.2 LS3 V8, 550 brake horsepower.
Yeah, tentative entry there from Ian Biz Phillips. Fires it and gets it nice and high on the bank already. It stays on that wide line, looking good as it comes down to clipping point 3.
Yeah, constantly trying to shave weight off this very heavy Nissan chassis, and this line just really hooking up nicely for Ian Phillips, representing Tarmac Sports, Ortec Welding, Tri-Ace Tires, Morris Lubricants, Lace Gold Electrical, Emerald ECU, Bram Racing, and Project Tougie. And Ian Phillips, of course, winning the vlog incentive at round 1 this year as well.
Yep.
So check out all his vlogs online. You can follow him on Facebook and Instagram. And we await the scores from the judges. Can Ian Phillips top qualifying here at round 2?
Well, we're about to find out.
So the judges' scores have been entered. Oh, just narrowly misses out on top spot. A score of 80 for Ian Phillips puts him into 2nd position. 80 on the board for Ian Phillips.
So there we go. We move back to the line. We do see Brett Perry. Brett Perry, the landscaper from Leeds, looking to put down a better run than his father did earlier on. As Brett Perry makes it off the line.
Yeah, representing RS Tuning, CG Motorsport, 2.5 litre engine underneath the bonnet, and 550 brake horsepower. The RJB Civil Engineering Nissan Skyline.
Yeah, doing a good job so far is young Brett Perry, nice and wide on that hairpin as he transitions into clipping point 6. Can he keep it wide now? This camera angle, a much better camera angle for you guys at home. You could see there what Eddie was saying earlier about the guys cutting across the circuit and finishing on the wrong half. But Brett Perry keeps it out nice and wide, so potentially a good score there for Perry.
Yeah, and hopefully if Simon Perry can get his technical difficulties sorted out, we could see another battle between father and son out on track here at round 2. It's just, yeah, judges again deliberating, waiting for those scores to come in. Where's Brett Perry going to sit after his first run in qualifying? Of course, as we mentioned, running in reverse championship order. These guys get 2 non-consecutive runs in qualifying, with their highest score counting toward as their qualifying score. And a 77.7, enough for 5th position for Brett Perry.
So on the line, Martin Wonnacott. Martin Wonnacott, the builder from Newton Abbot in Devon. Look at this absolutely hella cool looking chaser. 702 horsepower under the bonnet, 1 JZ. As Martin Wonnacott absolutely fires in. Look at this from Wonnacott. Big angle, big smoke, keeps in the throttle already. No lifting for Wonnacott.
Yeah, Wonnacott looking really, really fast. And this using every last bit of that 702 horsepower. Nitrous setup in this vehicle as well. Running Westlake tyres, representing Hell Performance and XW wraps. And what about that from Martin Wonnacott? Crosses the line in style. One of the coolest looking cars on the grid.
Such a cool looking car and a very, very good run there from Martin Wonnacott. So can he break into the 80s? Can he sit in the higher part of qualifying, find himself inside that top 8? And an 85 for Martin Wonnacott, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause. An 85 puts Martin Wonnacott in first position. What about that, Eddie?
Yeah, really strong run, and it looked as though that one was going to go top because you could just see the amount of smoke out on track. Lots of impact, lots of speed, and the line near perfect as well from Martin Wonnacott. So the judges really liking that one. Now, next on the line, you can see a man sporting a brand new livery representing DKM. Matt Stevenson, the owner at Slide Motorsport from West Yorkshire. LS3 6.2 liter engine underneath the bonnet, 430 brake horsepower. This is his 4th season using this particular chassis.
Yep, and the Slide Motorsport boss, like you say, Eddie, picking up that new sponsorship deal. Car looking really cool. Now, this guy always renowned for throwing down big entries. What has the local guy got? Can he put down a big gangster entry? Look at this!
Wow,
Huge
big
entry.
Sideways entry as he piles on the angle, but line is sacrificed.
Yep.
Not getting high enough onto that bank to really threaten that top spot in qualifying, but putting down a lot of rubber here is Matt Stevenson. And of course, the mechanical's not changing this car, it's just a brand new wrap, so he's very comfortable behind the wheel of this E92 BMW as Stevenson crosses the line and leaves clouds of smoke around the Teesside Autodrome. Not sure that one's going to top qualifying by any means, but certainly a score on the board from Matt Stevenson and something to build on for the second half of qualifying.
Yep, so as the scores drop in from our judges, where will Matt Stevenson land? And a 67.3, so 9th position so far for Matt Stevenson as we go back to the start line and we see a man who's renowned for making clouds, Eddie, on the line.
Possibly one of the most exciting drivers in the British Drift Championship, Aramis Vaskelis. And he's going to have to wait for a moment or two before we release him because obviously there's a bit of fog on the track.
Yeah, unfortunately, like we say, no breeze today here at Teesside Autodrome, which for you guys in attendance is a blessing. But unfortunately, it doesn't let the smoke clear quick enough, and that's going to be a bit of an issue later on when we head into top 24 battles.
Yeah, I was just doing a quick walk around the bank of the track earlier on, and I heard someone say we should only have to pay for half the event because we can only see half the runs with the amount of smoke that these drivers create. Here we go. Big weight transfer from Aramis Vaskelis. As he goes right and left and then right up high onto the bank. Look at this. You can see left foot braking just to keep that car balanced on the bank. And a really nice line here from Vaskelis.
Yeah, Vaskelis doing a sterling job, Eddie. Look at that big angle as he comes around that last hairpin. Absolutely pinned Teesside. Raise the roof for Aramis Vaskelis. Wow, what a run. Can that break qualifying, Eddie? Very, very good driving there. Now, the only thing letting this guy down all year and last season was mechanical failures. Can that car hold together? And can we see Vaskelis on the podium?
He calls himself the door hunter with no brain.
Wow.
So maybe that'll give you an idea of why he's so crazy when he goes out on track. It's probably going to take about an hour or two for the smoke to clear, as you can see on your live stream feed there as the score comes in. And first position for Aramis Vaskelis, statement made with an 88.3.
Yeah, wow, 88.3 there for Vaskelis, almost breaking the 90s in his first qualifying run. That's just his first run. What has he got for his second, Eddie?
So, talking about smoke, Paul Smokey Smith on the start line representing Team Japspeed Maxxis tyres. The 1.5 JZ 650 brake horsepower GT86. Incredible looking car, and Paul Smith sits inside or just outside the top 10 in the championship at the moment.
Yeah, Paul Smith looking very, very strong this year. Getting to know that new chassis very, very well, working very good for him. They got on the podium last year at this event.
Yeah, and just having to be patient as again we wait for obviously these cars powering, putting down massive power, and they're just absolute tire shredders. So they create a lot of smoke, which I think for a battle action later on is going to be a big problem for particularly the chase drivers, as a lot of this track essentially comes back on itself.
It's just hanging in the air, unfortunately. But we are ready to send Paul Smith for his first qualifying run. So what has the Jap speed and Max's tyres driver got as he screams through the gears? Headlights on as he fires it in. Wow, nice initiation from Smokey Smith. Nice and high on the bank. This guy, a veteran here at BDC, he knows his circuit. Absolutely screaming, Eddie. As
Paul Smith looks really, really quick through the circuit here, Ian. Big angle as he transitions, throwing it out to that outer line. And can he take it across the line in style? He certainly can. BDC, put your hands together for Paul Smokey Smith. And as he crosses the line, I think that's going to be a big, big score.
Yeah, a very, very good technical drive there from Paul Smokey Smith, and nice high line on the bank, exactly what the judges were looking to see. So the score's dropping in.
Yeah, can he threaten that top spot? 88.3 for Vasquez. Ooh, a 77 for Paul Smokey Smith. So some of those clips just not being connected the way the judges would have wanted to see, and scoring down just a little bit.
So there we go. Jason Clark on the line, a fabricator from Slide Motorsport.
I think Jason Clark could be a dark horse here this weekend. It looked very competitive in practice this morning. Very quick. Seems to have that line dialed in as he comes off the line, representing Competition Clutch, Slide Motorsport, Tri-Ace Tires, Ram Air and Fuchs Oil. And again, you can just see the speed that he carries all the way around that bank and nicely into that third outer clipping zone, taking it nice and deep into that fourth outer zone. And look at this from Jason Clark. A really strong run here, Ian, as he crossed the line. Guys, put your hands together for Team Slide Motorsports. Jason Clark, a round of applause from the judges, so you know it's going to go high.
Yeah, very, very good run there from Jason Clark, looking solid all day in practice. And yesterday in that little practice session, our guys had everyone saying that he's not scared to stick it on the door. So big things expected from Jason Clark. What do the judges make of that one? Scores drop in.
Can he break into the 90s?
Can he break
here?
it, Eddie? Can he break it? What's it going to be? And a 91.3 for Jason Clark. Jason Clark tops qualifying. Teesside, give him a round of applause. What a run from Jason Clark there.
Wow. Did I say dark horse?
You said a dark horse on the line.
Yeah, on the line, a guy who's maybe not so much of a dark horse.
Yeah, definitely. This guy not scared to stick it on the door, representing VP Racing Fuels all the way from Wales. Oliver Evans makes his way for his first qualifying run. This guy always puts on a show. What's he got, Eddie? Nice initiation from Evans. Gets on the accelerator nice and early. High on the bank as Evans screams through.
Yeah, Evans looking really good here, and another driver cutting his practice short. Happy enough with his line throughout the circuit, and look at this. Such a wide line all the way to the extremity of the circuit as he comes through the final hairpin and over the line. Teesside, throw your hands together for Oliver Evans. Short, dark and handsome, just like myself.
Wow, that's a bit of a boast, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
I think he's more handsome than you.
he probably is, yeah.
Is he taller than you?
You know, we went back to back earlier on. There's not much in it.
So an 86-point run there for Oliver Evans puts him in third position. So very, very strong run there for Oliver Evans' first run. We go back to the line. Mike Marshall.
This car is absolutely awesome.
It looks too good to be on a drift track. No graphics should be on the street, a cool road car. But Mike Marshall using it in BDC N54 under the bonnet, 550 horsepower. Whoa, what a huge initiation from Mike Marshall all the way out on those third cones and nice and high on the bank.
Yeah, just coming away from that second zone nicely and takes out the third clipping zone, sitting seventh in the championship at the moment, so looking to put in a big performance here this weekend to get him right back in the hunt. Of course, only one complete round so far in the British Drift Championship, and Marshall doing a nice job, a former champion of course as well, so no stranger to podiums and no stranger to the further ends of the competition and taking it all the way through. Where will we see him finish up later on this afternoon as we await those judges' scores to drop in? Can he beat that 91.3 laid down by Jason Clark? No, he can't. A 71.7, and work to do for Mike Marshall if he has hopes of topping qualifying.
So we go back to the line where we do see a crazy build, Eddie, a crazy build. A custom LS engine with a turbocharger in the boot in an RX-8. It is the one and only Matt Denham representing the RDX Drift Academy from Cheltenham, representing Jap Speed and Max's Tyres. This guy always putting on a good show for us. Matt Denham fires that car in. Look at this big smoke already from Matt Denham. Nice angles. He comes through clipping point 2. Eddie keeps in it as he comes down the bank.
Yeah, doing a really good job. This car on a complete weight loss program at the moment. He said he's trying to lose as much weight as possible so that he can keep up with Dwayne McKeever. And absolutely gunning it. Crosses the line. One of the nicest guys on the grid. Round of applause from the audience there, enjoying that run from Matt Denham. Sits in 6th position. Could we see him take it to the podium here this weekend? He will certainly be hoping to do that. New sponsors on the board representing Team Jap Speed and Max's Tyres this weekend.
Yeah, and he's a drift instructor, Eddie. A drift instructor. Yeah, he works for the RDX at the Drift Academy down at Rockingham. And an 87.7 there for Matt Denham, puts him in 3rd position. Yeah, so if you want a drift lesson, you could end up in the car with that insanely tall, handsome young man.
He is very handsome.
He's very handsome. He says even in his notes he says he's pretty tall. On the line, a guy no stranger to UK drifting, Richard Grindrod, the owner of Fibre Factory from Birmingham, representing Driftworks, Fibre Factory, Work Wheels UK, Viking Auto Garage, Exxon Race Engines, DTA Fast ECU, supercharged LSX underneath the bonnet of this E36 wide body, 680 horsepower.
Yeah.
As Grindrod fires it in, Eddie.
Look at this scene, hugging the bank the whole way around, throttle pinned. This guy racing go-karts since the age of 8, so no stranger to motorsport. Lives and breathes for drifting, and look at this line from Richard Grindrod, laying it down. Teesside makes some noise for the Driftworks driver. Wow.
Very, very good run there for Grindrod. Such a nice guy. Very, very smooth run that, Eddie. No mistakes, no big corrections to the steering wheel, so going to be a good score there for Grindrod. Not going to say any numbers because I was so wrong yesterday.
Yeah, you kind of let yourself down a little bit, Ian, but you know what? We're giving you a second shot. Chance at redemption here today.
Chance at redemption. So we wait for the score to drop in for Richard Grindrod.
Can he break into the 90s and threaten for that top spot? Richard Grindrod. Looks like the score's coming through. 89 and 2nd position for Grindrod. A big run there for him.
Yeah, a very big run there for Richard Grindrod, and a good place to be sitting after his first qualifying run. But we get into the top 4 of our championship.
Yes, missing out on the podium at round one, as I struggle over my words, and not driving his normal car this weekend in the IS200 Altezza Jap Speed Max's Tyre. Matt Carter, your 2017 champion, leaves the line for his first run of the day.
Yeah, Matt Carter using the spare car from Team Jap Speed, fires it in, gets on a very nice high line, keeps in the throttle. You can hear him absolutely pedaling it. Stays in it though, nice transition into clipping point 3, gets out wide onto outer zone 4. This guy comes alive in twin battles, Eddie, and likes to sit on the door. And look at this run from Matt Carter.
Yeah, big run here from Matt Carter, and this time next weekend he'll be setting his sights towards the European Drifting Championship.
Yep, Matt Carter will be looking to take down some of Europe's finest drivers next weekend. So we wait for the score to drop in from Matt Carter. Where does he land? It's a very good run, a very technical run. Can it break into the 90s? And an 85 for Matt Carter drops him into 6th position, so safe inside that top 10. As we move it along to the 3rd place finisher at round 1, Kevin Quinn. Kevin Quinn took the 3rd step on the podium at round 1, representing Quinn's M-Sport Simco Custom Manifolds. 2JZ, 700 horsepower. This guy drives very aggressive, and look at this from Quinn.
Wow, using the whole width of the track on entry there is Kevin Quinn. And a little bit of dirt on this car. You can just see how hard Kevin Quinn has been pushing all morning. And he is right in the hunt for the title in the British Drift Championship, and absolutely has it pinned. The amount of smoke that this car creates is phenomenal. And the noise as he just hammers the throttle and the limiter across the line. Guys, put it up for Kevin Quinn.
owner of Quinn M Sport from Tyrone in Northern Ireland, representing Cinco Custom Manifolds. It's the fastest F2JZ underneath the bonnet. And you know what? That was a pretty impressive run.
A very impressive run there for Kevin Quinn. Can he break the 90s though, Eddie? That is the top score to beat, a 91. And a score coming in for Kevin Quinn. What does he land? And an 88 for Kevin Quinn. An 88 puts him in 4th position. A very, very good run there. Very strong position for his first qualifying run. On the line, 2nd place finisher from round 1, Martin Richards.
Yeah, the owner at Richards Racing. Sorry to put across you.
That's fine. Yep, and we are ready to go. Martin Richards, yeah, the owner of Richard Racing from Worcestershire, sponsored by Driftworks. He says he is tired. I'm not surprised. This guy is everywhere at the moment, screaming off the line. 600 horsepower, 1JZ under the bonnet. Nice flick initiation from Richards. Look at the way that car transitioned up onto the bank. Big smoke already as Richards gets in the accelerator nice and early. And an absolutely perfect line from Richards, nice and deep onto the outer zone 4. Now, can he finish this off in spectacular
this is
style?
looking like a really good run. And you know what? Martin Richards coming here this weekend saying he wants to take down the championship here. He wants to go home as the 2018 British Drift Championship winner and doing a good job. And you know what? If you like old school skylines, there ain't many prettier than that one.
No, an absolute perfect example. So as the judges' scores drop in, just deliberating that one ever so slightly, Eddie. So, you know, potentially a big score coming in there for Martin Richards. Looked very, very good from where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
So score comes in from Martin Richards. And a 90 for Martin Richards, Teesside. Give him a round of applause. Drops him into 2nd position, a 90 for Martin Richards. Just one more guy left, Eddie. This guy currently unbeaten in 2018. Every single qualifying, he has topped it. Every single twin battle, he has won it. It is the one and only Northern Smoke Machine, Dwayne McKeever. Limited practice early, said he didn't need to get out on circuit, Eddie. What has this guy got? As Dwayne McKeever, representing Trey's Tyres, leaves the line. Whoa, big initiation from McKeever, Eddie.
Yeah, huge initiation from McKeever. He's almost 10 years drifting and he's only 22 years of age. And this guy is just one of the coolest customers behind the wheel. He is almost unstoppable. And it's going to take something special to be...
Oh! Whoa!
What has gone wrong? He said to me earlier, you can stop mentioning mechanical difficulties because this car is perfect. And we are waiting to hear what has gone wrong there for Dwayne McKeever, as that will most certainly be a 0 on his first run, Ian.
Wow, that is not good for Dwayne McKeever. And yeah, this guy looking absolutely flawless in practice. Limited practice, like we said, Eddie, and yeah, confirmation from the judges, a 0 for Dwayne McKeever. So Dwayne McKeever, your championship leader, your IDC championship leader, currently sits with a 0 in qualifying, Eddie. Big upset.
Wow, yeah, that's huge. Any idea what you think might have gone wrong?
Driveline issue. If I'm brutally honest with you, it looked like a driveline issue. Looks like he went to go for a downshift. Something went wrong, potentially a driver error causing a driveline issue. But Eddie, we are going to go to my new mate.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So we're not going to go to him. Apparently, he doesn't want to. He feels like he's upset you, maybe. But you're cool with that, right? You're still friends with him, though.
No, we were never friends.
Oh. Is that why you sat at the other table for dinner?
Yeah, precisely.
So we are going to go to him. It looks like he's just finished doing his hair. He likes to look smart for everyone. So we're going to go to Nathan. I think he's with Dwayne McKeever right now. We're going to find out what exactly is going on.
Well, I tried to have a word with old Dwayne McKeeves, but it wasn't to be. Apparently there was some kind of issue with this car. From what I hear, apparently the gearbox broke, which from what I can understand is quite important and is a bit of an error. So we were expecting big things from the leading BDC champion. There was high expectations. He came through, it was looking good, then boom, bang! All of a sudden, something went wrong. That's quite literal. He's drove past, he's gone into the bay. I guess he's got time to see if he can fix things and get back out for the second of his runs. But until then, it's time to find out. He's just my favourite, old Dwayne McKeever, so hopefully he'll be back in no time and he can carry on where he left off. Back to you guys.
Oh, unfortunately, I missed a bit of that, Eddie. It's a shame. I'd like to hear what Nathan's
Well, what's
got to say.
happened is that the guys in the live stream truck don't want to hear him either, so they just didn't put his mic live to the PA, so that's great.
Fair enough, Eddie. Fair enough, if that's how you're going to be with my new mate.
So that completes the first run of qualifying. We go back to our Pro-Am grid, our Pro-Am qualifiers from yesterday's action. which will see Ian Rutherford take to the circuit for his second run. He scored a 62.7 on his first attempt.
Yeah, a very good run. We've currently now, so we've got the standings. We can see who is going to be in that drop zone for top 24 and who is not going to be in that drop zone for top 24. So we will be able to work out where these guys are. We'll be able to let you know who drops in and who drops out of top 24 as we move all our way through. And as you can see, for you guys watching the live feed and in attendance, you take a look at the big screen, you can see the graphics on the board. So we're just going to quickly go to Dave Egan. Dave Egan, very good qualifying. Dwayne McKeever, though, not looking so good right now.
Yeah, of course you have to finish the run to get a score, and he didn't. But, I mean, to be honest, even up until that point, he wasn't going to be our top qualifier, which is Jason Clark. And to be honest, of all the runs we've seen, Jason's essentially was the most fluid and never really made any errors across the whole run. I mean, where could he gain points? Sure, he could have done a more aggressive entry. Sure, he could have a little bit more angle and impact. But in consideration of the criteria we've required from the drivers, he hit every single box on the track. His line was perfect and he didn't make any adjustments. He's definitely the benchmark for the rest of qualifying now. Can he be beaten? Yes, I think if we could get some of the entries we've seen that are amazing to tie up with the line, you'd be seeing up into the high 90s. But we're just not seeing everyone put the perfect run together just yet.
So there we go, Eddie, and news from the pits that Dwayne McKeever has completely smashed third gear out the gearbox. So no third gear in that gearbox. Is he going to attempt a second run? Well, you know what, I guess he has to. And he has already started qualifying in that car, so he has to use that car. Pressure right now on the 2018 championship leader. Will we move it back to the line, Eddie, to Ian Rutherford? Ian Rutherford, like we say, sitting with a 62 on his first qualifying run, looking comfortable.
Yeah, looking good out there, and as you say, it's only bonus time for him, sitting in 21st position, so we'll be looking to bump that score up a little bit.
Yeah, so Ian Rutherford leaves the line. What can he do? Can he better his score and climb himself up the order, or can he find himself inside top 24? Nice initiation, Eddie.
Yeah, nice line through that first corner. Look at how high he's getting up on the bank. A big run here if he can keep this going for Ian Rutherford. Pinpoint accuracy as he comes through that third and fourth zone. This is shaping up to be a stomper of a run. Switches it back for the final time. Gets back on the power and sends up the smoke signal. Hand out the window. Teesside makes some noise for Ian Rutherford. I think that's going to be better than the 62.7, Ian.
Oh, definitely. You know what? For me, Ian Rutherford has really come out of his shell this weekend. Looks like that car's working. He's feeling good.
High 70s, 80, low 80s?
No, not guessing anymore. Not doing
guessing.
that. Not
Go,
playing that game anymore. 72.
72, okay. I'm going to say high 70s.
Peer pressure, Eddie. Peer pressure, that's what that's called. So we wait for the score to drop in for our judges, just deliberating that one a little bit, you know, saying Dave Egan clapping. Oh, and a 78.3 for Rutherford. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause. Your Pro-Am driver climbs into 12th position. So looking good for top 24 as Ian Rutherford. As we go back to the line, we see Ryan Caldwell, this young guy, 16 years old, the student from County Tyrone. Is that right, Eddie?
Yes, yeah, put a mere 75 on the board. Look at you.
Look at me, I'm learning them all. Ryan Caldwell off the line, big opposite flick, Eddie, as he fires that Quinn's M Sport S15 in. 2JZ under the bonnet. Look at this big smoke, big angle, and absolutely flying is Ryan Caldwell right now as he picks up clipping point 4 perfectly. Nice and fluid. Like Dave Egan said, looking for that nice fluid line. Gets back in the accelerator and pedals that car all the way across the line. He's 16, Eddie.
Standard.
16-year-old student.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing left really to say about it.
There's not a lot left to say about it, is it?
16, rocking it out like, I don't know. It's depressing.
It is depressing. So we wait for a score to drop in there for Ryan Caldwell. Where does he land in qualifying? Can he better his first score of a 75? And he does, an 80. An 80 for Ryan Caldwell drops him into 11th position. So another guy looking safe inside that top 24. Big scores coming in now.
And it just shows how strict the judges are being, because that was a pretty impressive run. We move it on to yesterday's second place finisher. Sits on a 78 on his first run, so he is well in the mix. Could we see him make his way into the top 8? Can he put in a big run? Can he break into the 80s? Damien Wilkinson having the weekend of his life at the moment and securing himself, if I'm not mistaken, an IDC Pro-Am license. So we're going to start seeing this guy driving a lot more, I'd imagine.
And Wilkinson, look, misfire. Yeah, it looks like a mischief, Eddie, and maybe Wilkinson just getting a little bit caught up in himself, but it keeps it going. It's going to be a hurt score after that failed initiation, but Wilkinson starts to claw some points back now.
Yeah, we know he's safely inside that top 24 at the moment anyway, so it looks as though that's where he'll stay, but he'll have to battle for a spot in the top 16 as Wilkinson crosses the line, and hopefully nothing more than driver error there as he came down the line. Looks as though he just didn't grab a gear properly.
Yeah, such a shame. Wilkinson looking on form all weekend, so we wait for Wilkinson's score to drop in. Where does he land? It's not going to better his second score, but definitely. So wait for the score there to drop in, and at 53.3, yes, so stays where he is. In 14th position does Damien Wilkinson, but we are going to quickly shoot to the pits. We've got our camera down there. I don't think Nathan's involved, Eddie, it's fine, calm down. But we've got, so it does look like, I'm just hearing now, they are, so
they're taking a gear out of Michael, the diff.
Yes,
right,
so
okay, sorry.
This is very confusing right now. So confusion in the pitch, you can see Mike Wharton there. So Mike Wharton, like we said earlier in our pit walk, Eddie, broke the prop shaft in practice. Came back out. Paul Beachy was kind enough to lend Mike Wharton a car. Mike Wharton went out in practice, try and get some feel, try and get some practice laps. Blew the gearbox up in that car. So now they are taking parts off of Mike Wharton's diff to put into Dwayne McKeever's gearbox. Is that right? Is this what I'm hearing?
This is what we're hearing.
This is what we're hearing. I don't know if this is mixed information or what. But Dwayne McKeever currently smashed third gear out of his gearbox. So frantically down there with the rest of the guys trying to fix that car. And you can see Mike
Walton and Kevin Quinn helping out there. And you can just see
the Caldwell team, Ryan Caldwell's dad and the rest of the team trying to get parts and tools.
Dwayne McKeever there just working frantically to try and get this car. And of course, Dwayne McKeever, the last driver to complete qualifying. So he does have maybe 20-25 minutes to get this car fixed and back on track.
Wow. Insane pressure right now. So insane pressure there for Dwayne McKeever, and you know what, the guys you can see working frantically down there trying to. I'd like to find out exactly what they're trying to do, because just confusing a little bit there.
I'm glad that you're confused, because I'm really confused.
So, looks like we are going to try and head back to the start line in a minute for our next qualifying run. That will be the first of our pro drivers, I do believe. That will be a
Mark Gemmell, yeah. Gemmell sits on a 58.7 for his first run.
So there we go. We are going back to the start line to see Mark Gemmell, the owner of MG Autotech in Glasgow. N54 650 horsepower engine under the bonnet, this Nissan 350Z. As you guys can now see on the graphics, the drop zone has come into play, Eddie, and Nathan Chivers is hanging on.
Yeah, but Gemmell is sitting in 22nd position, so he has some work to do.
Yeah, Gemmell going to be looking to improve on his first score and try and climb up the order,
yeah.
Even if he has to battle. Big clutch kick from Gemmell as he fires that car in nice initiation.
That's it, a number of drivers still sitting on zeros, yet to complete a second run, so 22nd position, not a safe place to be. Nice high line up in the bank, kicking up some dirt.
Yeah, Gemmell looking very strong, nice and wide as he comes through Cubbing Point 4.
Yeah, this is much improved from that first run from Gemmell if he can keep in it. As we say, it's never over until they cross the line. Foot to the floor. Teesside makes some noise for Mark Gemmell, laying it down and doing a job in his second run. Certainly looks as though that should bump up his score.
And about 1 million clutch kicks, Eddie. 1 million clutch kicks from Clipping Point 5 to 6 there.
Yeah, clutch kick crazy.
Clutch kick crazy. Is that a new line for you?
Yeah, just try not to.
So we get a result there at a 54.7, so no change of position there for Mark Gemmell. All comes down to his first run. We go back to the line with someone sitting on a zero, Christian Christensen, the mechanic from Denmark, all that way. Didn't qualify at round one, said that the track didn't suit his car, didn't suit the style or the power that he's got, saying that Teesside was a much better track. This long top bank suited his car, but he spun his first run. What can he do? One run to make it count, Eddie.
Yeah, very early initiation again, but scrubbing too much speed, I think, is Christian. he's not carrying enough speed into that first corner, and I think that's stopping him from getting high out onto the bank, and you can just see Line is suffering as a result as he puts foot to the floor. You can just see the amount of power that is in this car as those tyres just light up as soon as he touches the throttle. But certainly that does not look like it's going to be a run that gets Christian into the top 24.
No, definitely not. You know what, too, like you say, nice early initiation, but unfortunately got on the throttle too early and just pulled himself down the bank, needed to let that car wash a little bit higher. So the scores drop in from our judges. I can only feel it's not enough to climb inside top 24, Eddie, and yeah, a 44, so 26th position there for Christian Christensen. Unfortunately, that will be the end of his weekend. As we move it along to Nathan Chivers.
Yeah, 50.3 for Nathan, the owner at GDA Sports Cars. Representing Westlake Tyres, GDA, Liquid Proof, Astral Science and Fibre Factory. 10 years drifting, LS2 supercharger, charged under the engine under the bonnet, 488 horsepower. Wow, kicking up a bit of dirt, getting aggressive, getting in your face and throwing it nice and high on the bank. And look at the line here as he carries the car all the way out to that third outer zone.
Yeah, if Nathan Chivers can keep this together, Eddie, this looks like it could be a very, very good run. Nice and wide. Very good transition from Chivers. 1.5, way wide on 6, takes out the cone. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Chivers destroying his car for your pleasure right now. That's a very good run there from Nathan Chivers. Pretty sure he's going to be penalised a little bit for the dirt drop and initiation.
Yeah, some of his line just wasn't exactly perfect, but filling those outer zones, lots of aggression, lots of impact.
Yeah, lots of impact.
And just a tad amount of smoke as well.
Yeah, currently sitting in 24th place, so gonna need to improve on that 50.3. Where does Nathan Chivers land once his score drops in at a 53.3? So stays where he is in 24th position. Judges not liking it, Eddie, not liking it as much as we did.
No, and a couple of drivers who will be shortly coming on the track sitting outside the top 30 or top 24, sitting on zeros and just low scores, will be looking to take that spot off Nathan Chivers as we move it to Lee Barker, who sits on a 58 and down the order, looking to bump himself up. The nightclub bouncer and hydraulic engineer from Slough. Representing Baltic Motorsport, Absolute Customs, Garage T, CV Automotive, Vital T, Infamous Creations, Strongflex UK and Westlake Tyres. Throwing it high onto the bank and keeping that throttle pinned.
Yeah, a bit of a strange angle there from Lee Barker as he comes through 7.2. Just seemed to shallow up a little bit, but gets back in it again. Puts on a good transition as he takes that car all the way out to 6. Nice wide line, stays out wide as well. So Lee Barker brings it across the line.
Yeah, he's a secret drifting fanboy and still gets starstruck meeting other drivers when he goes to watch events and in briefing. It's crazy. So judges deliberating on this one, and we wait the score to come in. A 62.3, enough for 22nd position, and just bumps himself up the order ever so slightly. We move it on to Dean Barber, sits on a 0. Ian, you'll remember from his first run.
Yeah, very, very good first half of the run. Just spun on that second hairpin. Now, if Dean Barber can hold it together and put down the same sort of run that he did last time without the spin, could be a very good score. Could see him way inside that top 24. What has Dean Barber got? The Team Red Mist driver from Milton Keynes. Fires it in, a nice little left and right. Oh, but just washes down the bank this time. Not high like we see last time, Eddie.
Yeah, filling that first zone, then a straighten and getting it a little bit out of shape, but getting it back together. Oh, dropping a wheel.
Spin.
Not a whole lot of grip out on that concrete section all the way out. You know, staying out that wide is essentially offline, and no grip out there. You see that car just shooting around, and an over rotation for Dean Barber puts double zeros on the board at the end of his weekend.
Yeah, unfortunate move there for Dean Barber, so that will be the end of his weekend. Like you say, Eddie, and we move it along. Just going to see the graphic there. Yeah, unfortunately, 2 zeros, drops him out of competition, and we move it along to Julie Robinson.
Yeah, Julie sits on a 26 from her first run. Representing Eurospec. She loves drifting, started drifting back in 2005, 2.5 litre engine underneath the bonnet, 320 brake horsepower, so one of the drivers with a more modest build and still kicking it in the pro class here in BDC.
Yeah, doing a good job so far, got nice and high on the bank, and a good line from 7.3 to 4. Now this is where it all went wrong for Julie last time. Can she hold it together as she transitions into 5? Julie Robinson gets it together and takes it across the line. Arm out the window. Give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Been in the game for 10 years strong now. And the same car, Eddie, the same car.
Yeah, rocking that four doors for more scores.
Wow, I wouldn't have wondered what you was going to say then, Eddie.
Always keeping it PC.
So we wait for Julie Robinson's score to drop in. Can she improve on her first score and climb inside top 24? Potentially knocking Nathan Chippers out again.
Yeah, certainly looked like a much improved run there from Julie Robinson. And judges just taking their time with this one.
Yeah. So, graphics just going to appear on the screen now, and a 51.7, so unfortunately not enough to climb inside top 24 already.
Narrowly missing out there for Julie, and unfortunately at the end of her weekend. We got to move it along to a man on a mission at the moment. Adam Simmons sits on a score of 81.7 from his first run. The car sprayer from Sheffield, he is on it this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely flying. Got that car to hold together. Big clutch kick flick from Simmons as he fires that car at nice wide line. Gets high up on the bank. It's looking good so far from Simmons. Now, can he hold it together? Keeping it. Sits on an 81 like you say, Eddie, so looking good for top 24 action later on today. Wow, very wide.
And you can just see again, very little grip out on that outer section as he takes it all the way out to the tyres. And Simmons, I'm not sure he's going to improve on that first run, Ian.
No, a few mistakes there, Eddie. Dropped out too wide on clipping point 4, almost run the tyre bales, and then as he comes from clipping point 5 to 6, seemed to like shortcut the circuit and dive across, just doing a rolling burnout. So Judges going to have picked up on that and score him down quite a bit. So we'll wait to get confirmation of that one.
But of course, Simo, safe inside that top 24. We will be seeing him later on this afternoon, and certainly a driver you wouldn't want to be coming up against. He sits just outside the top 8, so he's going to have to battle to get into the top 16 in the main event.
Yeah, and 71 there for Adam Simmons, so stays where he is, like you said, he sits in 10th.
Ollie Elmore just about made it to the line for his first run, then put in a score of 64. What can he do on his second run? Can he break into the grade 8 or into the top 8 in qualifying? We are about to find out as he leaves the line in the Hell Performance, GK Tech, ETS Racing Fuels, R33 Skyline, representing Boeing this weekend with that massive wing.
Yeah, nice and high on the bank, looking like a good line so far. Nice wide line from clipping point 4. And looking like a bit of a better run here from Ollie Elmore.
Yeah, this is a huge run from Ollie Elmore as he takes it across the line. Hashtag spoiler alert from the Hell Performance driver.
All of the puns, Eddie.
Yeah, I'm even disappointed with myself, to be honest.
So we wait for Ollie Elmore's score to come in from our judges.
Can he improve on that 64 from the first run?
Definitely think, just about.
Just about, but sits in 20th position.
So a 68.7 there for Ollie Elmore, sits in 20th, like you say, Eddie. Now on the line, a man sitting with a 0. Normally see him inside that top 8, always up there with the rest of the big names. Can Simon Perry put in a run? Looks like they've got those issues sorted with this car this time. And here comes Simon Perry.
Yeah, Simon Perry firing through the wow. Dropping a wheel on entry, but just about keeps it going, and a violent little shudder from the car. But Simon Perry, a wealth of experience, just gets back on it. And this looking fast from the RJB sponsored driver, Simon Perry.
Yeah, Simon Perry, arm out the window. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
That is his first full lap of the day, laying it down. I'm thinking that's doing enough to get into the top 24.
So there we go, Simon Perry laying it down, and you guys in attendance and you guys watching at home, I'm just going to show you a little bit of behind the scenes in the pits after this result. Yeah, an 83.7 there for Simon Perry, drops him into 10th position, so he's going to have to battle Eddie, but it looks like he's going to get down. Yeah, so as you can see, you take a look at the big screen, in that right-hand corner you can see just a little bit of behind the scenes of what's going on. It looks like they are changing the diff potentially. Wow, it's all going on down there for...
So possibly changing diff ratios so that he can use second gear, but we got to go back to the start line, which we'll see Peter Hayden take to the circuit for his second run. He sits on a 73, so a big run for this almost underpowered compact BMW.
Yeah,
old car.
sitting in 19th position, Eddie, on the grid, so inside top 24, but can he improve as he fires that car in? Nice initiation there.
Yeah, really nice, and taking it high onto the bank. You just see
left foot braking.
Left foot braking, but a full throttle zone there, so judges will be watching that as he comes into the only real slowing section of the track where he scrubs a little bit of speed now and gets back on the power. Again, quick dab of the brakes just to settle the car, and taking it across the line, safe inside the top 24 for the moment, but would like to bump up that score and get further up the field. As we say, sitting in 19th position at the moment. Where is he going to land after his second run? We've seen improvement on that 73. You can just see young Ryan Caldwell in the top right-hand corner of your screen having a look underneath the rear end of Dwayne McKeever's car, and he stays where he is. Peter Hayden, 66, not able to improve on his first run.
So there we go, on the line, Scott Cartledge, still no clutch, Eddie. Couldn't fix that car before his second run, so starts the car in gear, gets it going.
You know what? Managed a 78, so, you know, maybe clutch problems.
Whoa,
What about this for an entry? Using every last bit of the circuit as he flicks it from side to side and getting it nice and high on the bank, foot to the floor, sending up the smoke signals. Now starting to scrub that speed as he comes into the tighter technical sections of the track. Just keeping it within the confines of the circuit. You know what?
Who needs a clutch anyway? Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Driving with a broken car, Scott Cartledge keeps it together. Unbelievable drive there. Your 2017 Pro-Am champion, making it all happen.
The rest of the grid are wasting their money buying clutches. You know, you don't even need a clutch. So can he improve on that 78? It certainly looked like it was up there. I'm sure that one will be close, if not better. Scott Cartledge, where's he going to land? A 71.3, 2 scores in the 70s. Good consistency for him, and driving around those clutch issues. 16th position, so mid-pack, and a driver that will be battling to get himself into the top 16. Anthony Mortley on the line, a 46.3, and just struggled to get this car around the circuit on his first attempt.
And as you can see, just in that little right-hand corner, Dwayne McKeever's car fixed and making its way back up circuit. So top work to those guys in the paddock, getting that car back together again. Yeah, as you say, Eddie, Anthony Mortley on the line, awaiting his second qualifying run. 700 horsepower to a JZ under the bonnet of this S15. It needs to make it happen though.
Yeah, needs to pull it out of the bag here. Outside the top 24. Weekend will end here if he doesn't pull out a big... Oh! And you just see how violent it is when they drop the wheels, and big impact. Tyre off the rim. Panels off the car, and just about manages to keep that car running and stops it from getting caught in the gravel. But unfortunately for Anthony Mortley, that is going to be the end of his weekend, and I'd say he felt every last bit of that impact. Very violent when you go off the circuit. Big drops from a lot of dirt drops throughout the weekend, and that's why the judges were saying in briefing, and Dave mentioned to it when he talked through the line that they're looking for, you don't need to go overly deep into that first outer zone in order to get full points.
Yeah, exactly that. But yeah, I mean, he dropped a wheel, Eddie. It looked like he broke the bead, and then obviously as soon as he got back on circuit and making it official there at a 0 in his second run, putting Anthony Mortley in 27th position. So end of the weekend for him. Like I was saying, dropped a wheel, broke the bead on the tyre. As soon as he jumped back onto circuit, Eddie, no grip, and the car just washed straight up the bank into that gravel. So did a good job of getting himself out of there and not breaking at any time in the action. Our crew just giving the track a little bit of a sweep there. So round 3, Eddie, are you going to be there?
Absolutely.
Of course you are. At round 3 of the British Drift Championship, the Driftland Takeover. Tickets on sale right now. Last year, thrills, spills, everything. Walls, an immovable concrete wall.
I'm going to be there. You're going to be there.
I'm definitely going to be there.
Our team is going to be there.
Yep.
And if you're not there, you're missing out. Tickets, as we say, are on sale now, and Driftland is always one of the highlights of the season.
Yep, July 14th and 15th at Driftland in Lochlelie in Scotland. I mean, unbelievable track. It's set down. It's like you guys are now at Teesside. You stand on the bank, you look into the circuit. Very, very good atmosphere. Always have a very good event there.
I don't know if it's true, but I heard a rumour today that James Dean is competing at that event.
No.
That's what I heard.
Well, I heard a rumour that James Dean once told me that he loved Driftland. He loved watching it, and he said he wants to drift there. So,
who knows?
Who knows? Could James Dean be there? Will you guys at Teesside be there? No, no one from Teesside's going. Just local.
Do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's business time.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. You can come to Scotland, Eddie, if you don't bring the puns.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, no more puns for the rest of the weekend. Here we go, Ian Biz Phillips on the line, ready to take to the circuit for his second run. Sits on a score of 80, looking to improve on that. Where is he going to finish up after his second run? Slams through the gears as he comes down the straight, big weight transfer entry as he fires through the first corner. And high up onto the bank for Ian Phillips.
Yeah, Ian Phillips looking really strong. This guy coming into his own this season. Fires like, oh! Oh, what an over-rotation for Phillips. Just as it looks like he was going to lay down an absolute perfect run. Give him a round of applause, Teesside, as he brings it across the line. Ian Biz Phillips putting it all on the line there for you guys. Such a shame, Eddie, when that happens.
Yeah, such a shame, but as we say, look, sits on a score of 80, so well in there and looking like a guy who will be tough to beat later on. He will have to battle, though, to get into the top 16.
Yeah, work to be done there for Ian Phillips. Not an easy afternoon. We move it along on the line. Brett Perry on the line in that RJB Civil Engineering and Nissan Skyline R33. Representing CG Motorsport. And what has Brett Perry got? Big clutch kick as he fires that car in. Needs to get nice and high on the bank. He just allows that car to get up there, but stays off the throttle ever so slightly, Eddie, before he jumps back in.
Yeah, but that car just looks like it is floating around the circuit. And a big shout out to his two pugs, Butch and Daisy, watching on back in Leeds. Avid drift fans and probably enjoying this big run here that he's putting out on the circuit. You know what? That wasn't a bad effort from Brett Perry. And looking consistent out there today. A 77.7 on his first run. What's he going to do when the judges' scores drop in? Where's he going to land?
So we are just about to make it official. As the scores come in, where does Brett Perry land, Eddie?
Yeah, judges having a little bit of a deliberation over this one. Judge scores drop in, yeah, very similar to his first run, but does manage to improve a 79.7 and 14th position for Brett Perry.
So on the line, Martin Wonnacott, this guy come out absolutely flying in his first qualifying run. That car looking really cool as it takes off the line. Martin Wonnacott currently sits in 8th position, so inside that top 8. Can he find himself a place in top 16?
Yeah, I think he can, because an 85 on the first run. Look at this for the entry. Keeping it high on the bank as well.
Wow, look
Foot
at
to the
Wonnacott.
floor.
A little waver there as he fires the car in towards clipping point 3, Eddie. This is looking good from Wonnacott. Big clutch kick as he comes through clipping point 4.
Yeah, you know what? Keeps that throttle absolutely pinned as well.
Oh, big angle, Eddie. Look
Very
at
hard
this.
to keep this car sideways.
And Martin Wonnacott, Teesside, raised the roof. What a run.
Wow, that was a really big run from Martin Wonnacott. It looked like he didn't lift off that throttle the whole way through the circuit.
No, absolutely, and big clutch kicks all the way through as well. Martin Wonnacott coming to take down some names this weekend, Eddie. So where does the veteran of UK drifting land? This guy's been around a long, long time and knows of the game like the back of his hand. The score comes in for Martin Wonnacott and a 79.7, so doesn't improve on his first score. So now clings on to 8th position. Can he stay there by the end of qualifying? Well, we're about to find out if anybody can knock him off. Matt Stevenson, the owner of Slide Motorsport, sits on the line representing DKM. That brand new sponsor comes off the line. Big gangster entry. Messed up his line, on the first run with that big gangster entry.
Yeah, this car looking properly cool now with these new graphics schemes on it. Look at this though from Matt Stevenson, throwing it really high in the bank and big angle as he hammers the throttle, sends out the smoke signals and keeps it wide all the way through that tight hairpin as he comes into the final section of the circuit and nice and wide as he crosses the line. Guys, give it up for Matt Stevenson.
Yeah, very, very good run there for Matt Stevenson. Matt Stevenson held it together, much better run than his first run. Like you say, Eddie, currently sitting with a 67.3, so going to be looking to improve on that. Where does he land? The judges' scores being inputted into the system right now. And can he beat his teammate? No, narrowly misses out. 81.3, 12th position for Matt Stevenson, so he's going to have to make it through their top 24 battles to get into the top 16. On the line, Aramis Vaskalis, the delivery driver from London.
88.3 on his first run, and Pascalis, you know, set the course alight when he came out on track on that run. What's he going to do this time around? Hoping for no mechanical problems this weekend. Big entry.
Flick. Look at that,
Pops
all the
and
way out.
bangs.
All the way to the edge of the circuit. Eddie keeps it absolutely pinned, making clouds as he comes all the way down. Just drops the wheel. Oh, wow.
Big angle. How does he
Wow.
how on earth did he keep that from spinning?
Big angle from Pascalis, no use of the brake as he comes through clipping point 6, making clouds. Teesside raised the roof for Aramis Pascalis.
This guy is phenomenal.
The
And you know
way
what?
he's slow, no, he's had to stop the car because he cannot see where he's going.
Wow.
Insane amount of
What
smoke.
an entertainer. And you know what? I think he's right. There's no way that there could possibly be any brains in his head to put in runs like that, because it's just all out crazy.
Insane. Now, can this top qualifying, Jason Clark still sitting in first place in qualifying, can he be beaten by Aramis Pascalis? Eddie, the scores drop in. Where does Aramis Pascalis sit after his second qualifying run? Can he top qualifying at 93.7? Aramis Pascalis, ladies and gentlemen, tops qualifying at round 2 of the British Drift Championship. Ooh, wow.
Things are
What?
heating up just a little bit.
Just insane driving from Aramis Pascalis. So we move it along. Paul Smith on the line now. Paul Smokey Smith currently sits with a 77, Eddie.
Yeah, and sitting 10th in the championship as well. Can he go top here? Can he outdo that run from Aramis Pascalis? Can he send a message to the rest of the grid to say, I'm coming for a top spot here in qualifying? Paul Smith leaves the line, fires it through the first corner, but shallow in, missing that second clipping zone and coming off the bank early. And this isn't the line that Paul Smokey Smith would have been looking for, as he gets it back now and starts to collect some of the final clipping zones. But I think his score is going to be heavily hurt for that entry. Not what he was hoping for there.
No, exactly. Like you say, Eddie initiated, got on the power a bit too early and just didn't allow the car to wash up the bank. And unfortunately, yeah, sacrificed that line through clipping point 2. So not looking good for Smokey Smith to improve on that first score. But we've been wrong in the past.
We have
Definitely be wrong
on
again.
his first run. Do you know what? I think he's going to stay where he is. I'm not sure that's an improvement.
Wow, and it is an 81.3 for Paul Smokey Smith. So what do we know, Eddie? He jumps into 12th position and keeps himself inside top 24. Right, this man currently sitting in second position in qualifying. The Slide Motorsport driver, Jason Clark. Any Jason Clark fans in the house? Yeah, plenty of them. Jason Clark off the line representing Competition Clutch, Slide Motorsport, try his tyres, ram it and push oil. What can he do as he fires in? Can he take down Aramis Pascalis? Shallow on the bank, Eddie. Not as high as what we'd like to see him, but
Yes.
he keeps in it.
Certainly not replicating his first run, but of course the judges might see things differently than you and me, Ian. And Jason Clark looking very consistent though, which is the important thing. And he put in a monster first run. I just don't know if that is going to be as high a score. Certainly a very good run, but not what we saw from him on the first attempt. But Jason Clark looks like a man who is on a mission today. And as I said, dark horse, I feel, someone that you won't want to be coming up against in battles, because looks very comfortable on the circuit so far from what we've seen this morning.
Yeah, just for me, looks like he just didn't get high enough on the bank and sacrificed a little bit of line through clipping point 2. I'm pretty sure that's going to hurt his score. It's going to be in the 80s though, Eddie, I reckon. Oh, well, look at that, an 86 for Jason Clark. He stays where he is in second place in qualifying. We move it along to Oliver Evans now.
Yeah, the man who sits on a score of 86, and his aggressive nature and style of driving will certainly allude to him leaving this line looking to take top spot. Very fast, aggressive flick entry as he throws it up onto the bank. Can he get all the way to the outer zone? He certainly can, and now he starts to scrub that speed as he comes into the teardrop section. And this looks like a strong run here from Oliver Evans in that VP Racing Fuels S14. Guys, you see what crosses the line to finish his second run of qualifying. Make some noise for Oliver Evans.
Yeah, strong run there for Oliver Evans. Just a couple of mistakes here and there. I mean, you say similar than 86. That's a very similar score, I'm going to say, if I'm brutally honest with you, Eddie. It was good, lacked a little bit of impact. So, scores dropping in, and an 82.7, so stays in 7th position, but safe inside that top 8, so he potentially could see himself straight into top 16 later on this afternoon. We move it to Michael Marshall on the line.
Yeah, Mike Marshall down the order a little bit on a 71 from his first run, looking to really improve on that. He did look quite fast and comfortable in practice this morning, so can we see a little bit more of that on the second run as he takes to the circuit? Nice line, just keeping that car on the tarmac circuit up, and nicely pinned high on the bank as he starts to scrub that speed now before getting back on the power through the final sections. This looking like a very strong run as he collects all those clipping zones and crosses the line.
Yeah, from out the window.
M&M Engineering BMW. Really, really nice run.
Yeah, very nice run. Yeah, arm out the window, very happy with himself with that run. Looked good, looked very, very fluid, so we will see if he improves on a 71.3. As we are getting through him, Eddie, thick and fast, almost ready to drop into our top 5 drivers of the championship.
Yeah, just 6 to go after this.
And a 76 there for Mike Marshall, so he just jumped, he moves into 20th position. So just 6 more guys to go, Eddie, and the first man on the line, a bit of a head case.
A bit of a head case, yes.
Yeah, ran a V8 in an RX-8 and then decided to put a turbo in the boot.
Yeah, the turbo's in the boot.
With the help from the crazy scientist of Martin Richards, Mr. Racing.
With the rest of the shopping.
With the potatoes and beans, there is a nice big turbo. And look at this, Matt Denham, huge initiation from Denham, fires that car in now.
What
Can
about
he get
that
high?
aggression from Matt Denham?
Wow,
nice and high.
look at this.
Look at the smoking as he shreds those Maxxis tyres, representing Team Japspeed here this weekend and all season long. Wow, this is a stomper of a run here from Matt Denham, taking it all the way out to the wide lines, kicks it across the line. Teesside, put your hands together for Matt Denham. Representing Denham Industries.
Denham Industries. Yeah, RDX Academy instructor.
So, was that good enough to improve on the 87.7 on his first run? Can he break into the 90s? Will we see him go top in qualifying? No, an 86.3 for Matt Denham leaves him in 6th position, but inside that top 8, and at the moment safe for a top 16 spot.
Yeah, a top 16 spot there for Matthew Denham. Yeah. So we go back to the line. Yeah,
Richard Grinrod.
Richard Grinrod.
Just missed out on a score in the 90s, 89 on his first run, representing Driftworks, Fibre Factory, Work Wheels UK, Viking Auto Garage, Exxon Race Engines, DTA Fast. Wow, a very early entry. I'm not sure if he has the pace to carry it. He gets back on the throttle though and gets it high onto the bank eventually.
Very fast from Grinrod as he fires that car into clipping point 3. Carries the same sort of speed into 4, which means he barely slowed the car down. Look at this from Grinrod. This is quick. As he comes through clipping point 6, absolutely bails smoke, gives a wave to the judges. As Richard Grinrod finishes off that run.
You know what, watching these runs, there's a lot of consistency out there today. There's a lot of guys scoring in the 80s.
In the 80s,
I think we're going to have some very interesting battles later on this afternoon.
Yeah, a lot of these guys putting down a pretty similar initiation, very, very high on the bank, good line through the 2 hairpins. It's going to be very interesting top 24 battles later on. So where does Richard Grinrod land? Does he stay where he is or does he move up the order? Can he get himself a place inside that top 8? As the scores drop in, an 88.3, so narrowly misses out on beating his first score, but yes, stays safe inside that top 8 and safe for a battle in top 16. We move it along. Matt Carter, your 2017 Pro Champion, sits on the line in that Japspeed Maxxis tyres, Lexus IS200.
Of course, his Nissan Skyline has been shipped across to Europe for the Drift Masters Grand Prix next weekend in Plock in Poland. Where
it's not Plock, Eddie.
Where is it?
Pausk. Płotsk, sorry. Płotsk.
So of course, Matt Carter competing in 2 championships this season and looking to defend his 2017 British Drift Championship title as he crossed the line for his second run, looking to improve on that 85 that he scored. And Matt Carter well in the mix here this weekend in the spare car for Team Japspeed.
So so scores drop in, and an 80.3 there for Matt Carter, so he stays where he is in 8th position, so safe for that top 16.
Just a reminder that we will have a track walk after qualifying where all the pro cars will be down on the grid, and you can come down and meet the drivers, take a look around their machinery. So if you are here in attendance, you can just prepare yourself for that. We will be opening the gates, letting you down on track just to get a look around the different cars. So we move on to our final 3 drivers in qualifying. Kevin Quinn sits in 5th position after an 88 on his first run. The owner at Quinn M Sport, representing Cinco Custom Manifolds and Westlake Tyres.
Yeah, very aggressive from Kevin Quinn as he initiates. Look at this, Eddie. Oh, and he breaks the bead on a tyre. Kevin Quinn's on 1 tyre right now. Look at that. Completely broken bead. Can he keep going on 1 tyre? Kevin Quinn, no, unfortunately.
Looked like he was meant to top qualifying there as well.
As soon as he initiated, you could see the air pop out of the tyre, and Kevin Quinn fails to put in a second run. But give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. What a valiant effort. That guy just drifted 4th gear around the top of the bank with 1 tyre. Insane.
Kevin Quinn looks like a man that likes to have fun.
Oh, he's a party guy. Let me tell you that much.
So, then
2
there
drivers
were
to
2.
go.
Martin Richards scores on his first run a 90. He sits just off the top spot. He is in 3rd position, 2nd in the championship, and his closest rival, Dwayne McKeever, is on a 0. What's it going to be for the Worcestershire driver representing Driftworks? Here we go. Big weight transfer entry from Martin Richards,
Yeah,
as he throws it high on the bank.
Yeah, look at this from Richards. Gets into power early, and he stays on it as he absolutely fires into clip point 3. Keeps in the power on 4. Look at this from Richards, hounding the accelerator, hitting the rev limit. A big angle transition as he fires through clipping point 6. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your Driftworks sponsored driver, Martin Richards.
Yeah, another stomper of a run from Richards. Crossing the start-finish line on the wrong side of the track, maybe. But so again, that will hurt his score. But that's just nitpicking.
Just nitpicking, just the finer details, Eddie, that is.
As we wait for that score, quick word to our sponsors: Zestino Tires UK, Monster Energy, Japspeed, M-Tech Brakes, Funk Motorsport, JDM Distro, AM Details, VP Racing Fuels, Link Engine Management, Samco Sport, Brian James Trailer, Cosmos Racing Fuels, and Simpson Racing Products. And we await for that score to...
Wow, so judges are looking for a replay. So for you guys in attendance and at home wondering what the holding action is, it's judges wanting to see a replay of Martin Richards' initiation. So potentially, Eddie, something wrong there for Martin Richards.
Yeah, of course, he is obviously safe inside the top 8, so he will be straight into the top 16. But a 90 on his first run. But as I say, judges taking issue with something on his first run and just want to...
Yeah, so don't forget, while we wait for this breaking action as well, that we have that track walk. So as soon as Dwayne McKeever has completed his 2nd qualifying run, you guys will be invited down onto the circuit to meet and greet the drivers. We're going to just go to a replay now to see Martin Richards' qualifying run. So our Samsco Sport replay, big flick initiation from Richards. So maybe,
Just,
do you know what?
just overhearing David Egan saying, that's
Wow, a
gangster
gangster entry. Does this mean potentially Martin Richards is top qualified? Is this what they wanted to see? Did they want to see the entry to say Vascalis ain't got nothing?
Well, you know what? It must be close, because that's the only reason why they would be paying this much
So
attention
they're
to
writing
him.
down some scores, Eddie, and like I say, don't forget that track walk after Dwayne McKeever's final qualifying run. You can also stop by the BDC merchandise tent there, meet Jess, grab some cool Drift Games and BDC merch.
Yes, you can also check it out online at driftgames.live, and we are awaiting the score to come in. So, will Martin Richards...
Top qualifying. Wow, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. A 95 for Martin Richards. Martin Richards tops qualifying and takes first place. Eddie, what a score.
Yeah, what a run from Martin Richards, and there is only one man who can outdo him. This man has not been out-qualified in IDC, in BDC in 2018. He is undefeated in the UK. He sits on a 0 after blowing third gear, but they have got the car back working. Oh.
So it looks like he's going to potentially warm his tyres.
Just warm the
This
tyres,
could be,
yeah. Just
so like Eddie says, this guy currently unbeaten in the UK or in Ireland, currently sits on a 0 after his first qualifying run. If this ever was a time to get your phone out to film somebody put in a run at Teesside, it would be right now.
Yeah,
Pulling
representing
up to the line.
Tri-Ace Tyres, Hell Performance, Bradley Motorworks, McKeever Auto Spares, PT Motorsport Electrics, Euro M Sport, Dwayne McKeever. The Northern Smoke Machine leads the line. He needs to put out a big run. Big weight transfer from Dwayne McKeever as he takes it nice and high on the bank, sending up that smoke signal. Now starting to scrub that speed as he comes into that tight technical section, and this is where it all went wrong on the first run from Dwayne McKeever. Keeping it big, shredding those Tri-Ace tyres, and he crosses the line. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your round 1 winner and championship leader, Dwayne McKeever. So,
I told you to get your phone out and film it. I knew he was going to go hard.
Martin Richards scores a 95 in the penultimate qualifying run. Dwayne McKeever sits on a 0 from his first run. He scores a 92 and sits in 3rd position. He's been outdone by Martin Richards. But what about that under pressure? Dwayne McKeever puts himself in 3rd position. What about that for a qualifying session? Some really big scores and some good runs in there. And you know what? I'm excited for what's going to happen in battles. Some of these drivers pulling out all the stops here in qualifying this morning.
Yeah, I mean, look at these guys. They're going at absolutely 110%, Eddie. No one holding back whatsoever, putting in, like you say, the top 5 drivers putting in 90-point scores. It's just insane. Just goes to show you the level of competition here. We're just going to pop up on the screen for you guys in attendance here and at home watching the top 24 scores. So in first place, Martin Richards. In second place, Aramis Fiscalis. Third place, Dwayne McKeever. In fourth place, Jason Clark. Fifth place, Richard Grinwood. Sixth place, Kevin Quinn. Seventh for Matthew Denham. Eighth for Oliver Evans. Ninth for Matt Carter. 10th for Martin Wonnacott. In 11th place, Simon Perry. 12th place for Adam Simmons. 13th for Paul Smith. 14th place for Matt Stevenson. Ryan Caldwell in 15th place. And 16th, Ian Phillips. 17th for Brett Perry. 18th for Ian Rutherford. 19th for Damien Wilkinson. 20th for Scott Cartledge. 21st for Mike Marshall. 22nd for Peter Hayden. 23rd for Ollie Elmore. And rounding off top 24 is Lee Barker. So there you go. Top 24 drivers done and dusted, Eddie. I mean, top 24 is coming up shortly. We're going to break those down. They will twin battle all the way through. Then we'll have our top 16 parade out on circuit. It's going to be good this afternoon. Some really good battles lining up.
Yeah, some really exciting battles to look forward to, and just waiting to get those battles in front of us so we can see who's going to be pipped up against each other. But what really stands out for me is the number of drivers who have stepped up their game here this weekend at round 2 of the British Drift Championship. And you know what? Picking a winner here at the moment is going to be difficult.
Yeah, exactly. So we are live with the action at 2:30. Me and Eddie will be back live at 2:30 with the action for you guys for top 24. We're going to head to our track walk now. So for all you guys in attendance, if you want to make your way down past the BDC merchandise tent, you'll be able to pick up yourself a nice cool Drift Games hoodie. Make your way onto the circuit. Come and meet the drivers, meet the teams, have a look around the cars. I do believe, Eddie, we might be going to see my mate Nathan. Nathan, you around, mate? How you doing, buddy?
I'm just doing peaches and cream, thank you very much. I'm just waiting to meet some of my favorite brand new heroes from the world of drift. They're just aligning themselves around now, following the monster girls, which is what I tried to do for a while before I was warned off quite immediately. What an exciting start to the qualifiers. We've gone in with Martin Richards, who I was going to approach for the interview, but obviously after the accidental flirting with Tessa yesterday, I've decided that's probably not a good idea. He's about 7 foot tall and he looks rather muscular, so I don't really want any part of that. Obviously we had Dwayne McKeeves that was looking like he might have been down and out, but the redemption seems like it might be in hand. He came in with what I believe was a 92. He's headed back in. We want to go and have a chat with him. I just love him. His little face. You know, he's just a good-looking guy. I mean, if you are, whatever you are, I mean, it doesn't matter. I just sometimes like to appreciate, you know, the aesthetics of the guys. So yeah, they look wonderful, and we're just waiting now for the cars to make their position in. Just really, look at the audience we've got here today. It's amazing to watch online, but it's even more amazing to come down and have the live experience for many reasons. Not only do you get to see the cars live in person, not only do you get to see the drivers live in person, you get to see the host with the most, the voice of choice, and the champ that runs the camp, me, live in person. Dreams, they say, really do come true, and it must be the case here in Middlesbrough. Look at this chap's smile on his face. He's been doing some right weird eyebrows at me for the last 30 seconds. Yeah, I'll be adding you on Bebo later, you young rascal. And that's just part of the fun. So this is BDC round 2 of 5. Get your tickets. Come on down. Bring a rain mag, bring an umbrella, bring some sandwiches, bring some dried mango, and come and be a part of the fun here at the BDC. I'm off to go and have a chat with some of my favorite drivers. Dwayne, where are you? It's me. We're friends on Instagram. Where is he? I can't find him. He'll be here somewhere. I'll find. Have you seen Dwayne? Have you seen Dwayne? He's quite tall, very. Excuse me. Have you seen Dwayne? We know from Norway you don't speak English. Where's Dwayne? Dwayne? Dwayne! Excuse me, have you seen Dwayne McKeever? It's really fast, great at skids. Anywhere? Excuse me, Michael. Have you seen Michael? Michael's got the most beautiful blue eyes you've ever seen. He's got a beard. Michael, show us them blue eyes. No, he's not. Where's Dwayne? Look at the amount of people we've got here. Just look at the roaring attendance they've got all the way around the embankment. And that's what it's all about. If you're watching online, that's awesome, but you need to get here live and in person to taste the atmosphere which is upon all of us. And we're going to go and have a chat. Don't know where he is. Can you see him? Yeah, he's just don't want to hang out with me, does he? I don't want to go to Martin Richards. He might have a go at me. He's over here. Hi, Martin. How are you? Sorry about yesterday. You're in the lead. Are we cool? Is everything cool?
Well,
I don't know. I don't want no trouble. I'm just happy to see you not wearing sandals today. Yeah, you are a better driver, but I've got a better haircut. That's Martin Richards, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be back with you later on with some more breathtaking BDC action.
We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
I've chosen to use VP racing fuel since I was a teenager racing motocross, which was 21 years ago now.
I've been using VP racing fuel for years, basically ever since I built my first race car, and you want to get that consistent fuel, it was VP through and through.
Absolutely,
right from the beginning.
that's the brand. Yeah, I've been using VP probably since I was 10 years old racing dirt bikes. There's so many different VP racing fuels to choose from. One of the best go-tos is definitely C16.
So we use C16 in our Formula Drift cars.
I run C16 in all my cars outside of this one here. The two race cars here at the track, we run the C85.
And my supercharged Coyote-powered Mustang that's over in Europe, we use MS-109.
And a Ferrari car, I actually run MS-109.
VP has been making racing fuel for 43 years. They're the official fuel of multiple top series globally. No matter where we are in the world, no matter what fuel we need, it's always consistent. It's always perfect and exactly what we're expecting and our tuners expecting. They support myself, my Drift Alliance bros, and for that, I'm extremely thankful. Keep making amazing fuels, and we'll keep out there having fun.
There's a reason that half the paddock, if not more here, runs Samco hose, and that's that nobody wants to be let down by a split water hose or a split boost hose. And with Samco, there's nothing to worry about.
With using these hoses, we get the reliability, they never burst, we can just rely on them, and that's all we need.
Half of the grid are running Samco hoses in their cars, and there's a reason for that. They're the best in the business.
I'm so happy to be running Samco hoses now, because in the past we have run other manufacturers' hoses and we have had the intercooler pipes collapsing, which obviously when you're under massive pressure on track, you have to be fully supportive and reliant on your hoses.
So a lot of people ask us over the years, you know, what hoses you run. Personally, I can't think of anything better than Samco. They do what they say on the tin, they work, they don't come loose, they don't fail on you, they don't pop. You can't beat Samco.
We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.